Буду работать переводчиком сегодня в очередной раз. Hello, everybody. Who is there? Who is going to greet us? Hello, could you say hi? Favor, how are you, Favor? I heard that you had your birthday recently, Favor. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. We are born in the same month. Wow, that is great. And you are doing a good job with your contest. I think you are placing a lot of videos out there. Is that a contest? Are you competing or participating in the contest? You are really doing well. Good Godwin Ibekwe. Hi, how are you, Pastor? Joko Dukoya, blessings. Toshuku, blessing. Olukayode, welcome. David, Daniel, blessings. Mofelola, welcome. Kiro Jimadu, yes, nice to see you. Everybody that is there, we are happy to see all of you. Today is going to be a very good program because we have Olena here and we have a guest who is very beautiful, but not just beautiful, she's very smart as well, very wise, very deep thinker. Pastor Alewu Okwa, pleased to meet you. Thank you for being here today. Anota Jinat, blessings. Eric Osadolo, nice to see you. Let's go ahead and begin to share this message. Go ahead and share the link. We are only like a week to my birthday. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Next Friday, we're already starting. Next Friday, this is my house. Can you believe? Look what's going to happen. Next Friday, I'm going to have 500 people in my house yesterday. On Friday. 500 people in my house next week. 500 people going to be in my house on Friday. So it's going to be a very, very busy time. Then on Saturday, 400 people in the restaurant. Then on Sunday, bad news. Thousands of people in the church. So it's going to be a very, very busy week. It's going to be an extremely busy week for me. So, yeah, so we are getting closer. Here we are. Okay. Go ahead and share the link. And here comes Olena Stebeska.
Добрий вечір усім.
Good evening, everyone.
Сьогодні ми вже з вами зустрічаємося 22-й раз.
Today is the 22nd day that we are meeting with you.
І ми продовжуємо наш марафон, присвячений дню народження пастора.
And we are continuing this our program, our marathon that is dedicated to the birthday of Pastor Sunday.
І свідчити людей, яких пастор відіграв надзвичайно важливу роль.
And we are going to listen to the people that pastor played important roles in their lives.
Сьогодні у нас теж надзвичайна гостя.
Today we have an unusual visitor.
Це пастор Олена
She's a pastor. Pastor Olena Shumovska.
І ми сьогодні почуємо також її незвичайну історію.
She's going to tell us her story.
Пастор Єлена.
Pastor Yelena.
Пастору виповнюється вже через тиждень 50 років.
Pastor Sunday is going to be 50 in a week's
Важко
time.
повірити, а які це у вас складається враження? Що ви думаєте про це?
What will you say about Pastor Sunday's 50th birthday?
Ну, я думаю об этом в разрезе 3 времен. Настоящего, будущего и прошлого.
Okay, I'm going to say that, when you talk about anybody's birthday, you've got to talk about the present, you've got to talk about the past and the future.
Если говорить о прошлом, то все эти 50 лет не были прожиты для самого себя, а значит, не были прожиты напрасно.
So, Pastor Sunday lived let's talk about the past. Talking about the past, Pastor Sunday didn't live these 50 years for himself, so he didn't live in vain because he lived for others.
Количество добрых дел, сделанное пастором Сандеем, велико.
If you want to count the amount of good works that Pastor Sunday has done to people and to the world, it's just massive. It's a massive amount of good works that Pastor Sunday has done.
Даже я, будучи с ним много лет рядом, знаю только фрагмент этого великих дел, этих отрезок какой-то, но не все.
I've been with Pastor Sunday for some time now, but I only know a little bit of what Pastor Sunday has done. I can't say I know everything, the scope of his work that he has done.
Но даже то, что я знаю, если бы каждый человек на земле за свои 50 лет делал что-то подобное, то в мире было бы меньше слез, безотцовщины, неудачников, растерянности, тупиков и так далее.
But if many people, like what I know that Pastor Sunday has done, if half of the people on earth would do something like that by the time they are 50, we will have a new world. We will have a better world. The world will not be suffering, and there will be no pain that we are seeing in the world today.
Другое впечатление — это чувство, связанное с будущим.
Then let's talk about the future.
Есть ощущение будущего.
There is the feeling of what is coming in the future.
Есть ощущение, что у вас впереди есть дело во имя Господа и на благо людей.
У кого?
У пастора Сандея есть свершение во имя Господа впереди, да, людей.
But let's talk about the future, because Pastor Sunday has a sense of destiny in the future, of what he is planning to do for God and for people. So he's a destiny carrier. It's the destiny of a lot of people in the future are waiting for him, and of course the destiny of the kingdom of God, the purpose of the kingdom of God are waiting for him in the future. So there is a strong sense of purpose in the future.
Еще ощущение, которое относится к настоящему времени.
Apart from the past, the future, let's talk about the present.
Вот настоящий сложный момент в вашей жизни, который вы не скрываете, очень важен в Божьем календаре.
But this present time also is a very important time for pastor.
Что-то должно измениться в вас, сформироваться заново, и откроется ваш путь дальше.
This is not an easy time for pastor because it's under this court case and all that. But all this difficult time that Pastor Sunday is going through is going to yield. It's going to lead to many, many good results. So the suffering and the difficulty of today is going to yield a huge result in the future, Pastor.
Хто по-вашому, пастор Сандей взагалі? Що можете сказати про його особистість?
What will you say about Pastor Sunday as an individual in general?
Все эти годы, которые я вас знаю, вы выходили из рамок классического пастора и классической церкви.
All these years, Pastor Sunday has been transformed. Pastor Sunday keeps on growing and transforming. For example, when I first knew him, he was like a pastor to me, just a pastor. But then I saw him how he grew from a pastor of a classical church to being, a kingdom person, and how he transformed from just different from one level to the other.
Вы вызывали и принимали на себя огонь, делали то, что другие делать боятся или не решаются, вы заявляли о себе.
All these years, I've known Pastor Sunday as somebody who is never afraid of challenges. Pastor Sunday has always been throwing the challenge out to the people. He's never afraid of consequences, and he's always been doing what every other person is afraid of doing. So he will step out when other people are hiding, and he will stand to fight when nobody is willing to do that.
Поэтому первая ассоциация со словом реформатор.
So that's why because they want to say, who is Pastor Sunday? My first description of Pastor Sunday is that he's a reformer. He's a reformer for sure. He's a revolutionary and a reformer.
Вы человек, рядом с которым все приходит в движение, начинает видоизменяться, преображаться.
Пастор Сандей.
Пастор Сандей. Пастор Сандей — это человек, с которым все приходит в движение, начинает видоизменяться, преображаться.
Pastor Sunday is a person that comes anywhere and there is a movement. Anywhere he shows up, there is a big, huge movement that begins to transpire. So anywhere he appears in, you just get ready for revolution, for reformation, for a movement. There is nothing static when Pastor Sunday shows up. Whenever he shows up, anywhere he shows up, everything begins to just fall apart and go upside down. And a huge movement. He's a person of movement. He's a reformer. He's a revolutionary. He cannot leave anything the way he met it.
Рядом с пастором Сандеем все сдвигается с мертвой точки, расцветает.
Whenever you meet Pastor Sunday, everything, wherever he is, everything begins to flourish. So he's a reformer, number one. Number two, he's somebody that brings everything into flourishing, prosper. Everything begins to prosper, flourish. Whenever he appears anywhere, life comes. He's a life giver. He gives life to every dead situation, every static situation. Things begin to come alive.
Исполнять свое предназначение, начинает делать то, для чего было создано.
Whenever you meet Pastor Sunday, you begin to discover yourself. You begin to discover your calling. You begin to discover your future. You begin to discover why you are alive in the first place, why God created you. You cannot be around him and not begin to realize who you are and begin to go for it.
Рядом с пастором Сандеем тяжело оставаться серым человеком.
You cannot be near Pastor Sunday and just be an ordinary person, a gray mass or a biomass. You cannot just be indifferent when you are around him. When you are around him, it means that greatness has arrived. You cannot but be great when you are around him. When you are around him, you cannot but be established and be prosperous and flourish.
В нем прослеживается неуемная, непреодолимая жажда к успеху.
When you are around him, you just see that you want to flourish, you want to advance, you want to progress. There is no way you could be around him and not wish to accomplish something great. You don't just want to be ordinary anymore. There is no mediocrity around him. Anything that is mediocre dies when Pastor Sunday arrives. When he's around, your mediocrity goes, your failure goes. You don't even want to stay the way you were before. You want to begin to dream of something big. And then you begin to accomplish those things because he's pushing you all the time. He's showing you the way. He's investing in you. He's giving you his resources to help you to become like that.
И вот эта неуемная жажда и целеустремленность, она не оставляет людей заурядными рядом с вами.
So this is energy to make sure that you make it, to make sure that you don't fail, to make you become who you are supposed to become. This energy that he has, this great push that he gives you, that makes so many people to be so successful around him. Around him is just like it's just like trees that are planted by the riverside. So everybody around him are always prosperous, they are always successful, they are always exceptional. And the reason is because he's always pushing them, giving them the platform, and doing everything to make sure that everybody becomes successful.
Рядом с пастором трудно быть простым человеком и посредственным человеком.
So you cannot know Pastor Sunday for real and be around him and be near him and see yourself as a simple person. You cannot live an ordinary life anymore. If you get to know him and you are around him, you have to begin to dream big. You cannot just be ordinarily successful or minimally successful. It has to be a big ambition.
И хотя я узнаю в пасторе пастора по местной церкви, также узнаю.
Even though I recognize Pastor Sunday as a pastor as well, I recognize Pastor Sunday as a pastor.
Да, я вижу ваше внимание, чуткость, заботу, и на украинском лагидность, к людям. И это есть доказательство настоящего христианского пастора. У вас есть внимание, чуткость, лагидность, забота. Это есть доказательство настоящего христианского пастора.
The reason why I said Pastor Sunday is still a pastor despite his greatness is that despite everything he has achieved and despite all his titles and success, Pastor Sunday is still very caring. So he's still a pastor at heart. He's still very caring to people. He's always concerned about people. He's always bothered about your destiny. He is so addicted to making sure that everybody is comfortable around him, that everybody is successful around him. So he's so caring, like a shepherd will be. So he's a pastor as well.
Также я связываю имя пастора Сандея с освободителем.
I also see Pastor Sunday as a deliverer.
А пастор Сандей напоминает мне одного библейского героя Моисея.
For me, Pastor Sunday is like Moses.
Моисей был рожден непонятно как и непонятно где, но понятно для чего.
We don't know how pastors, Moses have a very complex, story, right? With our experience, where was he born, when, but we know that he was born for a purpose.
Он был рожден, чтобы вывести народ из рабства еврейский.
Moses was just born, sent to this world for that particular purpose, that he would deliver the children of Israel from captivity and lead them to freedom.
Сегодня мы понимаем, что славянский народ, которому служил пастор Сандей все эти годы, тоже находится практически все время под игом рабства.
And I would like to say Pastor Sunday is a Moses to the world today, and especially to the Eastern European countries. Because these countries, in Eastern European countries, they have also been under captivity of communism. They have been under slavery, like Israel was under slavery.
Славянский народ попал под монголо-татарское иго в течение 3 веков.
So in the history of the Slavic nations, they have been under the Mongolia-Tatar captivity.
Которая сменила крепостное право, что тоже было рабством.
Like it was slavery for 300 years or 400 years.
И на замену пришел коммунизм.
Then after that, communism came. So these people have known what suffering is all about.
Все это были иго.
And these people have been under the bondage, under slavery.
И пастор Сандей был послан Богом славянскому народу помочь выйти из этого рабства.
I believe that Pastor Sunday is that individual, that personality that is capable and that God has used to break that bondage of a century-old bondage that people have been under. I am sure that Pastor Sunday was born to set these people free from that bondage. Our people have been under bondage, under slavery, and he came with his message that is capable. The only message that has been capable to deliver our people from that slavery is Pastor Sunday's message.
Пастор Сандей для вас особисто.
Who is Pastor Sunday to you personally?
Для меня, прежде всего, пастор Сандей — это пример восхищения и подражания. У него очень много есть чему подражать, много вещей, которые достойны подражения и достойны восхищения.
First of all, Pastor Sunday to me is an example. It's my model. It's my model and my prototype that I want to copy in everything. There are so many good qualities, God qualities that are in him that I just want to copy.
Для меня, конечно, он больше духовный отец и пастор.
For me, it's more of my father. My spiritual father is my pastor.
Который заботился обо мне вот уже, наверное, 13 лет подряд.
For 13 years, he's been taking care of me.
Вникал в мою жизнь, защищал меня.
He's showing interest in every detail of my life. He defends, protects me.
Он имеет свойство появляться в кризисные ситуации в
Especially
жизни.
in crisis, when you have a difficult time, Pastor Sunday is always there. He never leaves you away. He never leaves you alone in hard time.
И, конечно, он не оставлял меня без помощи и без ответа.
He's always giving me answers. He's always giving me help and assistance.
Следующее для меня пастор Сандей — это личность.
So, but then next, Pastor Sunday, of course, is a great man.
Личность с большой буквы.
A great personality with an uncomparable personality.
Вы привили к себе любовь к труду.
This man is a hard worker. He's a workaholic.
Вы человек вызовов, который постоянно,
This is a man that is constantly looking for challenges.
Постоянно ищущий, стремящийся,
Always striving himself, always pushing himself, always paying the price.
строящий что-то.
He's always coming up with new projects, always building something new.
Вы человек-фундамент.
He's a fundamental man. He's very concrete, fundamental person.
Твердо стоящий на ногах
Pastor
принципов
Sunday
и
has
ценностей.
strong principles and values. Very strong values and principles.
Вы человек действия.
Pastor Sunday is a man of action.
Tяжело ассоциировать пастора Сандея с несбывшимися мечтами.
It's impossible for Pastor Sunday to come up with a dream or a plan and come to pass. Everything he comes up with, sooner or later he will do them. He does everything he plans to do.
Пастору Сандею очень присуща такая способность, как умение ждать Бога и в то же время скорость действия, когда он дождался.
Wow. Wow, I can't believe she could pick that up. I don't know where she got. She's just unbelievable. Anyway, she said, Pastor Sunday is such an individual that's able to combine two things. The ability to wait for God. He always waits for God to speak or to give him a direction. But once he gets the sign and the direction of God, he doesn't he doesn't continue to wait. He knows how to wait and he knows exactly how to act immediately. So Pastor Sunday doesn't wait on one hand. He acts all the time, but he doesn't act without instructions of God. So he has a unique way of combining God's immediate obedience and with God's immediate action and God's leading as well. So it's a unique quality. I didn't know she could pick that up.
Пастор Сандей умеет ждать, выдержать паузу, дождаться Бога в обстоятельствах и дождаться человека.
What I mean is that Pastor Sunday knows how to wait. He knows how to wait not just for God. He knows how to wait for people. He has enough patience for well. So Pastor Sunday has this kind of understanding that not just to wait for God to speak or to give him direction, but even for individuals, he has enough patience to wait and make sure that they get it before he begins to demand something from them.
Потому как пастор живет, как он выглядит, по его служению, по его супруге, можно увидеть, что ему присуща тонкость и изысканность также, царское достоинство.
Another thing you could say about Pastor Sunday is he is having a form of royalty in him. There is a royalty about Pastor Sunday. If you look at the way he lives, look at the way he dresses, look at the way he carries himself, look at the way he behaves, look at the way his wife looks, look at the way she behaves, look at the way his children her, look at the way they speak, look at the way they present themselves. There's a royalty there. There is a royal presence in the presence with Pastor Sunday and his family. It's just a royal presence.
Пастор Сандей задействует во всем разум,
Okay.
хотя остается духовным человеком.
Pastor Sunday is a man that that is having common sense in everything. Even though he's so spiritual, but as spiritual as he is, he applies common sense. He's not overly religious or super religious or loses his mind. No. He's always in charge. He's always having his logic. And he's always having his common sense. And he's always having his critical thinking and analytical thinking in place, despite his spiritual status.
Прежде чем что-то сделать, пастор Сандей хорошо думает. Но если он сделал, он уже не жалеет.
Pastor Sunday is a very thoughtful person. Very, very thoughtful. For me, it's interesting to hear all these things. Okay. Pastor Sunday is very thoughtful. Now, before he does anything, before he even says anything, he has thought it through so deep and in so many variations. So he thinks everything through in every direction before he says it or before he commits himself to anything. But once he commits himself to anything or he says it, you could go to sleep. You could just go to sleep. It's done. If he gives you his word or if he promises you anything or if he commits to anything, go to sleep. It's going to come to pass sooner or later. This lady is dangerous. This lady is dangerous. She knows a pastor.
Но в нашем мире обычно все наоборот. Человек делает не думая, а потом, когда думает, он жалеет. Пастор Сандей строит жизнь по-другому.
What I know, most people act first before they think. And by the time they think, they're already regretting. So they act first, then think, then regret. But Pastor Sunday is the opposite. He thinks deeply first, then comes up with a plan, then acts. So that by the time he acts, everything is already been so well thought out that he cannot fail. Pastor Sunday almost never ever fails when he's out to do anything. He is so thorough.
У пастора Сандея нет тупиков.
Yeah, this another. Oh wow, jeez. I'm saying, Pastor Sunday, you will never find Pastor Sunday in a that is cornered. You will never see Pastor Sunday cornered. You will never see that Pastor Sunday doesn't have a way, doesn't have an answer. Pastor Sunday is never in a situation whereby it doesn't have a solution. He's always having a solution. He's always having an answer. He's always knowing what to do in every situation. You can never see him in a situation that is like just giving up. He doesn't know what to do. No, he's never cornered.
Он может и свои чужие ошибки и падения обернуть в следующее служение.
Even when Pastor Sunday says he's made some mistakes or he's even failed, Pastor Sunday doesn't hide from us his failures or his challenges, but then he tells you exactly the lessons that are coming from there. And you yourself will see the lessons that are coming from all his mistakes or all his failures, and he doesn't hide it, but he turns every one of those to a stepping stone, to a springboard.
Пастор Сандей падал и поднимался знанием Бога.
Pastor Sunday, even when he made mistakes or fails, he says it that this is a way of following God. So it is part of the walk with God that you have to do it. You have to be natural. That as a human being, you will never be perfect. And because you are not perfect, you are going to have issues, and those issues are to help you know God better.
Так может только человек, который знает лично своего Спасителя.
Only somebody who is a friend of God and who knows God very well will always turn his mistakes or his failures into greater revelation of God.
Так может действовать только тот, кто уверен в любви Бога.
Only somebody who knows God personally and his love will be able to, always convert all his victories and his failures to God's glory.
И в его отношении к нему.
And because it's only somebody who has a tight personal relationship with the Lord will be able to do something like that.
Пастор Сандей человек, который познал Небесного Отца, не имея своего физиологического отца, не зная его.
Another thing with Pastor Sunday is that he always tells us that he doesn't have a father. So someone that doesn't have a father has discovered the Heavenly Father in such a unique way that now is revealing the Heavenly Father to people, like even people who had fathers could never reveal the Heavenly Father.
Он смог создать хорошую семью, не имея нормальной семьи. В этом его особенность.
Pastor Sunday has been able to have one of the greatest families, one of the best family examples you will ever see. But then his family, how successful his family is, and how wonderful his family is, you would think he has the best family upbringing. But he never even had a father or a mother. But he's able to not just create a successful family himself, but he's also able to teach other people how to build a successful family.
А скажіть, будь ласка, а яке має життя пастор Сандея зараз?
На нее или вообще?
Взагалі.
Ну, я бы сказала такое, разностороннее и резонансное.
Well, she's asking her, what will you say is the influence of Pastor Sunday? How is Pastor Sunday accepted or perceived in the society? She said, Pastor Sunday is perceived in the society as somebody that is versatile, someone that is multi-gifted, multifaceted. someone that is comprehensive, complex, that is involved in many, many things, all spheres of life, but is also regarded as a scandalous person, a person of scandal, a resonance person, a noise maker, a noise-making person, scandalous person.
Это, знаете, как с Иисусом, да? Влияет на всех, но по-разному. Одни любят, другие ненавидят. Одни шли за Иисусом, другие насмехались над Ним и презирали Его. И что-то подобное я вижу в жизни пастора Сандея.
So, as a result of this notoriety, Pastor Sunday is not just famous, but he's notorious as well. So, because he's not just famous, with the people he's famous with, they love him, and some of them are fanatically in love with him, and they are ready to do anything for him. But then, on the other hand, the people who see him as just notorious, they are suspicious of him all the time, and they're always attacking him and always accusing him of one thing or the other. So that's the life of Pastor Sunday. He's not afraid of controversy. So he's regarded here as a controversial figure, but that is committed to whatever he's doing. So this is the life of Pastor Sunday in the sense that you cannot be indifferent about him. You either love him or hate him, but you can never remain indifferent.
Он не оставался нигде незамеченным. Также и пастор Сандей, ему очень сложно остаться незамеченным.
The same thing, I think, is the quality of Jesus. Jesus is never indifferent. You will never see Jesus remaining indifferent, or nobody will be indifferent about Jesus. Jesus can never be, unnoticeable wherever he is. He has to be noticed.
Где бы он ни появлялся, пастора Сандея видно.
The same thing with Pastor Sunday. If Pastor Sunday appears anywhere, there is just no way you will not know that he's around. I mean, everywhere we take note that somebody has come here now.
Когда я не знала его лично, но он приходил в гости куда-то, где я была, он производил вот этот резонанс, о котором я говорю, что-то менялось, атмосфера, что-то начинало передвигаться. И я думала, что, наверное, он играет какую-то роль. Но потом, когда я знакомилась с ним лично, я поняла, что это его суть такая, быть ярким, быть видным.
You didn't know Pastor Sunday personally, I was in the same city with him, but I didn't know him personally. Everywhere I was, and that Pastor Sunday came around, either just anywhere that we intercepted, even though we were not familiar, we didn't know each other, but even that time when I was not a member of the church, when I didn't know him, I knew him as a resonate person, as somebody that is always, creating news, and someone that is always creating a lot of noise and controversy. So everywhere I went, I thought, is he playing this role? Is he an actor? Is he just making this thing happen, artificially by himself? But when I got to know him, then I discovered that no, this is who he is. This is his nature.
Познакомившись с пастором лично и побыв с ним какое-то время, я поняла, что игра, это не маска, он такой во всем, в эмоциях, в делах, в амбициях, в одежде, в поведении, в подходе к служению и даже к жизнедеятельности. Вот он не толпа, его видно.
So what I'm trying to say is that Pastor Sunday is never in the crowd. He's always standing out of the crowd all the time. The way he dresses is making him to stand out of the crowd. The way he speaks is making him to stand out of the crowd. His wisdom is making him to stand out of the crowd. His knowledge is making him to stand out of the crowd. His influence is making him to stand out of the crowd. His effect that he brings to wherever he is, his presence making him to stand out of the crowd. His results make him to stand out of the crowd. So he's not somebody that belongs to the crowd at all.
Як ви вважаєте, який слід залишить життя пастора на землі?
What do you think? What are the things that Pastor Sunday is going to be known for or remembered for?
Конечно, наверняка предсказать этого невозможно. Но если всматриваться в историю, то след таких людей отчетливо виден.
It is very difficult to say for sure what the next generation will be saying about Pastor Sunday, how they will receive him, but I think he is going to remain in history for sure, no doubt about it.
Я называю таких людей, как пастор Сандей, люди века.
Because Pastor Sunday is someone like Pastor Sunday lives for centuries. They live for generation. is going to live for generation for sure.
Правда, при жизни людей века не могут оценить.
Unfortunately, people like him, they are always reviled and persecuted and hated when they are alive.
Не могут оценить правильно и скорее оценивают превратно.
And people always misunderstand them because there are people who are living ahead of their time. So Pastor Sunday is living ahead of his age, ahead of his time. And so as a result of that, people of his time never will understand him. And they will always criticize him and attack him. And just like with all great men, that's the same thing that happened to all these people. But they are never forgotten as a result of it.
Но, однако, впоследствии их целеустремленный труд и вот эта непоколебимая вера в дело, которому они отдали свою жизнь, оно оценивалось высоко, но уже не современник.
Even though they are not always valued enough during their lifetime, but normally, after some time, especially after they are gone, most people always put some memorial in their place. Most people always leave some kind of statue for them because of what they have done. They have done so much that other people didn't do. They have sacrificed so much, and they have, they have made so much history that they cannot be forgotten.
А які пастора вам запам'ятались більш за все, вплинули і поміняли ваше життя?
Are there some books of Pastor Sunday that affected you the most?
Я думаю, что из первых книг пастора это книга «Реформация».
The old books of Pastor Sunday, I think Church Shift will be the number one.
Книга «Реформация» вывела меня из примитивного понимания Евангелия и предназначения церкви.
That book, Church Shift, delivered me from primitive understanding of Christianity and of the church.
И навела мой фокус на общество.
And it delivered me from just being in the four walls of the church and brought me to begin to be concerned about the kingdom of God and the world at large.
Через эту книгу я поняла смысл и значение церкви поместной.
Actually, that book helped me to understand what the purpose and the destiny of the church is all about.
Эта книга расширила мою парадигму.
It changed my paradigm.
И мое христианство стало богаче и масштабнее.
And I became a wider Christian, a Christian with a wider worldview.
Из новых книг книга Университета жизни «Что общего у Иисуса и Стива Джобса». Это моя любимая.
The next out of the latest, the new books that Pastor has written, there's a book that is called What Does Jesus and Steve Jobs Have in Common? That's my favorite book.
Она дала мне чувство присутствия Бога в современном мире.
Through that book, I understood that God could be present in the new technological age that we're living in.
И как важно не сетовать на свое неблагополучное детство, отсутствие связей.
And it's no time to complain. You should not be complaining in this world.
Что от человека самого зависит, создаст он себя заново или нет, добьется чего-то в жизни или нет.
So that book made me to understand that no, you could become everything in life, and it's all in your hands. Don't complain. Don't wait for anybody to do anything for you.
Это, конечно, не отменяет самого главного фактора Божьей благодати, но также фактор, что мы созданы по образу и подобию Бога и можем сами творить, тоже нельзя отменить этот факт. И вот книга, она мне помогла в этом утвердиться.
Yes, the book also mentions a lot of God's factor. God will help you to excel in life. But don't just sit down there and be just waiting for God to help you excel while you are not doing anything. So that book, what is similar, the similarity between Jesus and Steve Jobs, it shows you how to use all your resources, natural resources, to get the best results on the earth and to add God's potential and resources to that and to be the best in wherever you are and whatever you do.
Эта книга помогла мне не упустить из виду очень важную истину, что я могу создавать и не упустить возможность.
Another lesson from that book is that we are co-creators with God. So that book teaches us and tells about the fact that you can create, that every one of us can create, and that we should go ahead and be co-creators with God. And that's one of the things that God is expecting from us.
А які вчені пастора запам'ятались більш за все?
Any teachings of Pastor Sunday that you remember that you would like to mention?
Но больше всего пастора Сандея учение о почтении и хамстве меня впечатлило.
О почтении и хамстве?
Изменило мою жизнь, да. Изменило мою жизнь.
Pastor Sunday's teaching about honor and harm is it's changed my life. It's impressed me and changed my life. But by the way, this is Pastor Lena, right? Pastor Lena, for you not to, or Yelena, Pastor Yelena or Helena. So yeah, that's the teaching that really transformed my life altogether.
Я поняла, что без почтения нету будущего ни у кого.
I understood that without honor, that nobody has a destiny. You don't have a future without honor.
И вот на посте пастор раскрывал характеристики людей почтения и хамов. Это очень ценная вещь. Я считаю, что, я не знаю, есть ли она вообще где-то еще в христианстве, но если бы она была.
Pastor Sunday taught us about the characteristics of a Christian with honor and the characteristics of dishonored Christian or harm, the Christians after the spirit of harm. I think this teaching is supposed to be in everywhere in Christianity, but I'm sorry, I think it's not more anywhere apart from here in the embassy of God.
Много, конечно, учений, которые в моей жизни остались с таким следом хорошим, но хочу еще отметить два. Это любовь к истине, без которой приходит обольщение неминуемо.
Another teaching of Pastor Sunday that is revolutionary is the love for truth. It's called the love of truth. And that message is so key that if you don't have it, you will miss the road sooner or later.
И осознанное состояние, как человек спит во время бодрствования и теряет в жизни из-за этого практически все возможности.
Another teaching of Pastor Sunday that is revolutionary is called How to Be in the Here and Now. By the way, the book is going to be out on my 50th birthday this week. So in English, so it's going to be in English. You could get it as well.
В общем, эти стали самыми ценными для
So
меня.
those are some of the most memorable teachings of Pastor Sunday that remember.
Ими я пользуюсь каждый день. Спасибо.
And I use them. They help me every day, these teachings.
Спасибо, пастор.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Pastor.
А скажіть, будь ласка, які ваші життєві результати, зміни, які ви завдячуєте пастору?
Post-illustration.
Так.
What are the things that have changed after you met Pastor Sunday?
Когда мы встретились с пастором Сандеем, я была разведенной практически женщиной, отчаявшейся и и стала, хорошей женой, имею хорошую семью.
When I met Pastor Sunday, I was a disillusioned woman because my husband just left me. I was broken, I was shattered. But now I'm a happily married woman, happily married wife with a good husband.
Да. Из человека, который боялся выступать, я стала публичной личностью.
And if I was always timid, always afraid of talking in public, I became bold and I became a public personality.
Ну, конечно, знаете, есть много же учителей и есть много пастырей. Но вот главное, что я обрела после встречи с пастором, это духовного отца. Я перестала быть сиротой, а после этого ушел страх.
I lost my fear after I met Pastor Sunday because I got a father, and with the father's protection and with the father's covering, it gives that covering to you when you know him. So with that covering of a father, I lost all kind of fear. I lost my fear. I don't have fear anymore. I don't have any concern. I lost my fear, and that is one of the greatest things that I got after coming to know Pastor Sunday.
Не каждый служитель Библии даже может стать отцом.
You see, there are many preachers out there. There are many teachers. There are many preachers, miracle workers, people who just do the ministry the way they understand it. But for you to have a father, somebody that will give you a covering, somebody that will make you lose your fear, somebody that will make you lose your concern and fear for the future, not everybody can give that to you.
Вместе с пастором меня покинуло чувство сиротства.
Yeah, with pastor, I don't know what it means to be lonely anymore. I cannot be lonely anymore, and I cannot be an orphan anymore.
Следующая перемена, которая очень важна для меня, я научилась думать, мыслить, осознанно подходить к решениям и решать вопросы жизни, которые возникают по ходу.
Another change with Pastor is that after discovering him and coming to meet him, I began to think. I began to do everything thoughtfully. I began to think everything through. I began to apply the art of thinking, analytical thinking, critical thinking. I became less emotional and reactional, but began to think before I take any decision.
Я научилась взвешивать, думать аналитически, строить планы.
I began to build plans, live by plans, and live. I began to have foresight and having vision ahead, and live by vision, like live for tomorrow rather than for today. And yeah.
Где нужно торопиться, где нужно выждать паузу, такая мудрость пришла с ним, со знакомством с ним.
And that gives you wisdom, and that's the a major change with Pastor after I got to know him. I began to act out of wisdom, not out of emotions, not out of just the flesh and just irrationally. I began to become more rational, more wise in my actions and my deeds.
Я очень благодарна пастору Сандею за то, что он построил такую систему внутри церкви, что каждый может расти и расти бесконечно.
Pastor Sunday has set up a system whereby you keep on growing. And that's another advantage because you keep on growing around him. But you don't just grow a little bit. It makes you to grow as long as possible, and you keep on growing. You don't stop growing. There is no stagnation with pastor. You always keep on growing.
Да, не во всех церквах дают такую возможность.
Not in many churches you see a system whereby they push you to grow. That way you have a system in place that is always pushing you, encouraging you to achieve the maximums that you could achieve in life.
Но вместе с пастором пришло ко мне какое-то чувство свободы в служении, свободы самовыражения, свободы быть такой, как ты есть, и этого не смущаться, не стыдиться, не бояться.
Another thing that you will get with pastor is the freedom, the liberty. It gives you so much freedom, the liberty to be who you are, the liberty to be you, the freedom to do everything that you want to do. You never need to get irritated or frustrated or suspicious with pastor. Anything that he asks you to, anything that you have in your heart to do, it gives you such confidence. It gives you so much support to go ahead for them and do them that you lose any sense of fear, concern, or limitation. You feel that you could fly when you are with him. So that freedom is amazing. You just enjoy that freedom around him.
Все эти факторы помогли мне нести много лет служения пастора.
And thanks to these qualities, that's why I've been able to be a woman pastor. As a woman, I've been a pastor for so many years now.
Спасибо.
Thank you.
Конкретно покращилося ваше життя завдяки пастору Сандею.
Это не то, что она уже сказала.
Ну, тут два вопроса повторяются.
Да.
Что меня, конечно, раздражало.
Да, зачем? Это то же самое.
Хорошо, я вас тоді інше спитаю. Скажіть, будь ласка, які принципи, які ви навчилися у пастора, допомагають вам жити і бути такою, якою ви є?
Именно принципы, да?
So there are some principles, some concrete principles Sunday that have helped you to become who you are today.
Но самый основной принцип, я думаю, который помог мне вырасти в личность и иметь стержень христианский, это человечность, это любовь к людям неподдельная, настоящая, которую долго нельзя играть, которую долго нельзя сыграть.
I think the most important principle I would say is that love for God and love for people, but that is so real love. It's not the kind of love that makes people to just pretend. A lot of ministers just pretend. They just need to do what they need to do. They just need to be nice. This is not about trying to be nice or trying to be good or trying to play a role. No, this is real love that could not be copied. It cannot be fake. So, and because this has been for so many years, the same love, real. So, apart from the love, but the genuineness and the genuineness and the genuity of pastor and his environment, they are some of the greatest qualities that I've taken from him.
Вот это основной принцип, что Но нет любви к Богу без любви человека. И пастор об этом все время говорил, все годы. Но так мало кто смог это повторить, кто смог это воспроизвести. Но это очень ценно.
Pastor teaches us that there is no love for God without love for people. All these years, he's always been repeating that teachings. No love for God without love for people. You cannot love God without love, amen. So, but even though he's teaching us so much, I don't think that we have been able to actually repeat that and actually live like that. But he is living like that. He is showing his love for God in his love for people. He is so real about that. That is one thing that we are learning from him, and we're trying to chase after him. We are running after him. We're trying to emulate him, but he's so real and genuine, and that's one of the things that we really admire in him.
Следующий принцип, который хочу отметить, это практичное христианство. Пастор все время проповедовал и учил практичному христианству, потому что очень много хороших проповедей. Но тебе надо потом жить всю неделю и всю жизнь. И как их применить на практике? И вот все хорошие проповедники, они говорят, что надо делать. А пастор, он учил все эти годы, как это.
In Christianity, you have a lot of preachers and a lot of teachers and a lot of messages. But most people just tell you, do this, do that, don't do this, do that. But Pastor Sunday is a carrier of practical gospel. His messages are so practical. You could apply everything. Mainly, it doesn't even tell you what to do this and don't do that. It tells you how to do it. Pastor Sunday is one person that is focusing on how to get things done, rather than this is what you go and do this, go and do that, and all that. No, it teaches you practical Christianity on how to function on earth here for God and His kingdom.
Он научил нас достойно жить практически каждый день. Он дал нам путевку в жизнь, как у нас говорят.
Pastor Sunday taught us how to live practically every day. That's what you said, that he opened the door to life for us. He opened the door to life. He taught us how to live this life, and not just how to exist and how to survive, or how to struggle, or how to make a living, but how to live and enjoy life. He taught us, he gave us those principles, and he coached us, mentored us, and trained us to live a successful life.
В принципе, это все должны делать родители, подготовить нас к жизни. Должно это делать школа, государство. Но по факту в нашем постсоветском пространстве такого нет. И мы выходим в жизнь неподготовленные к ее реалиям.
Fortunately, our world does not prepare us for life. Definitely, you would think that our parents are supposed to prepare us for life. What we'll meet in life, what are the principles that will make you to have a worthy life on earth, and what are the principles of life, that how do you live life, and you might think that, okay, maybe apart from your parents, maybe your teachers will help you to understand life, what life is about, how to live a productive life, an effective life. But you discover that the teachers never taught us how to live, and even our parents never taught us how to live life. None of them knows what the principles of life. But these are the lessons of life and the principles of life that Pastor Sunday has taught us. He brought us understanding and the formula of how to live an effective life. And he taught us how to live. He opened the door of life to us. He taught us and gave us the instruction on how to live life on earth.
И вот он не проповедовал хорошие духовные вещи, которые нельзя применить в жизни, в повседневной, а дал нам путевку в жизнь, как я сказала, то есть то недостающее, чего у нас не было ни как у людей, ни как у нации, ни как у христиан.
Pastor Sunday doesn't preach good messages that you just shout about and that you don't know how to apply. But his messages are mainly on how to practice and how to get things done. So that's one very unique quality of Pastor Sunday's messages. His messages are so practical, they are so helpful, you could stand up and just go and begin to implement them. So he's teaching us how to get things done rather than just entertaining us or trying to impress us.
Мы все знаем, что в церквах домашние группы, есть лидерские школы, есть, может быть, даже общение. Но пастор делал это не как в других церквах, не для галочки, не формально, не классически. Он делал это с обратной связью, с домашними заданиями, с личной ответственностью. И благодаря этому мы росли послушные.
Well, one thing with Pastor is that he wants you not just to get what he's teaching you, but he wants to actually monitor you and take you by the hand and guide you into implementing it. He wants to take you by the hand. He wants to chew the word for you, put it in your mouth so that the only thing you need to do is to swallow it. So he just doesn't want you to come to him and listen to him and sit down there, but he's personally interested in how much you are doing, what progress you are making, and if you are getting what he's trying to get to you or not. He will sit down with you. He will spend his time with you, and he will, give you practical direction on how to do the things that he wants you to do.
И носилось без прикрас.
And then he does this, very, very plainly and very, direct, no games.
Он готовил нас со все эти годы к трудностям жизни.
And he tells us the truth. He tells us about the challenges of life, what we will face in life.
Как их преодолевать, показывать во всем этом мужество, не сдаваться.
He tells us about the challenges of life, that life will come with difficulties. And he tells you how to face those difficulties and how to overcome them. He doesn't just say, you just live a sweet life and an easy life, and that there will be those challenges in life. No, he tells us the truth about the challenges of life that we are going to face and about how to overcome them.
И следующий, последний принцип, который я скажу, очень ценный для меня, это то, что пастор, он служил все эти годы в агрессивной среде.
And the last quality that I would like to point out that I'm learning from Pastor is that Pastor Sunday, all these years, over 20-something years, Pastor Sunday is ministering in a country where they hate him, where people are aggressively against him, where people cannot tolerate him, where he's a target.
Потому что последствия коммунизма хуже, чем коммунизм.
Because communism has destroyed the minds of people. And as a result, the result of that communism is what they use to attack him.
И ему пришлось сталкиваться с этими последствиями коммунизма каждый день, и не один раз.
So Pastor Sunday has to fight every day against those results of communism and the mindset of communism.
И из-за того, что он думающий человек и Божий человек, он проявил смекалку в том, чтобы изучить народ, которому он служит.
And the fact that Pastor Sunday is a thinking person and is a man of God, he's not just doing ministry like every other person. He's doing ministry in such a way that he will be able to change the people he's ministering to. He wants to change the country. He wants to change the people. He wants to change their value systems and mindset. And these are the things that attract attacks.
Многие служители в постсоветском пространстве, может быть, даже во всем мире, они служат вслепую.
So, unfortunately, a lot of ministers, they just minister anyhow. They just do their job.
Можно сказать поверхностно, не побоюсь так сказать.
Yeah, shallow-minded. They are not going to the details of what it would take to reform and renew the mindset of the country.
Но пастор, благодаря своей особенности и благодаря также кризису, который Бог создал, он вынес правильные уроки и создал такие ретриты и общения, где он смог глубоко изучить менталитет людей, которым он служит, и помочь людям самим узнать себя.
Yep. The thing with Pastor is that he doesn't just want to minister to people what he thinks that they need. Can you believe it that Pastor Sunday will do research on the needs of the people? He will do research on the problems that the people are facing. He will investigate. He will talk to people. He will find out what are the factors inhibiting people from becoming who God wants them to be. He will deal with each factor separately. He will, he's not lazy. He's not lazy in finding out. He will go to the root of why the people are like this. And then he will begin to address them, tell them the truth. Some of them had truth. Some of them will even cause people to get angry with him. But but it will tell them the truth so that they will be able to help them on the level of the root of the problem. Not just, not just surface, not just a superficial attitude to ministry, but a very deep attitude to ministry.
Постсоветский человек, он сам себя не знает и не понимает. И пастору пришлось очень много вложить труда в том, чтобы открыть наши глаза на самих себя.
So sometimes, especially our people here, people don't know why they are even the way they are. They don't even know how they became who they became. They don't know why they are like that, why they are not successful, what are the factors limiting them. They're just struggling. So Pastor Sunday is the one that have to open the eyes of everyone and open the eyes of the nation. Why you are in such a situation where you are in? What are the things you need to do to come out of it? And so all those details, Pastor Sunday has to do the research and come with the answer and then teach it to the people and make them to believe that they could be better just by following the principles that are.
И то, что мы сами о себе узнали, очень... И то, что пастор нам помог сами о себе узнать, благодаря вот его общениям, ретритам, учениям, лидерским последним за 9 лет, я сейчас говорю объем 9 лет, очень хорошо сказал в своей книге Владимир Познер «Прощание с иллюзиями». И я хочу зачитать несколько фраз из его книги, чтобы вы поняли, какому народу служил пастор Сандей все эти годы. Возможно, это даст вам понять его лучше и оценить его по достоинству.
There is a writer in Russia that his name is Vladimir Posner. He wrote a book about the Russian people, about, he called it, say bye to illusions. So I'm going to talk about that book and let you know the kind of people that Pastor Sunday had lived with for these 30 years and how difficult it has been for him.
Характер человека, которому служил пастор все эти годы здесь, постсоветского человека, его называют в мире загадочным. Русская душа непонятна, она загадочна.
Pastor Sunday has been ministering for 30 years to people that are very complex. So complex that they don't even understand themselves.
Да. И я зачитаю. Постсоветский характер. Склонны к взлетам восторга и депрессивным падениям.
So this man, Vladimir Posner, is giving characteristics of the peoples of the former Soviet Union. Is somebody that is capable of being excited easily and then going down to the abyss of depression immediately afterwards.
Yes. Это сентиментальность в сочетании с жестокостью.
It's a people of sentiments. They are moved by emotions, but also when the emotion is disappointed, then they could go to the extent of wickedness and harming you.
Это терпение, граничащее с безразличием.
It is the people that are ready to just be quiet and be so to say silent and quiet, but they are quiet and silent in indifference.
Это поразительное стремление разрушать и созидать в масштабах совершенно немыслимых.
They have the zeal to destroy like no other people.
Это желание поразить и обрадовать всех криком «Угощаю», при том, что завтра не останется и рубля, чтобы купить хлеб для собственной семьи.
They have a parasite mindset and they are willing to give even their last just to impress, but then they don't have anything to eat tomorrow.
Это звероватость вместе с нежностью.
They are a kind of people that on one hand they look soft and caring, but at the same time it could change to hatred and anger immediately if you offend them.
Это любовь гулять, будто в последний раз в жизни, но и жить столь скучно и серо, словно жизнь не закончится никогда.
They are a people that are ready to enjoy life and just live and give to pleasure. Give to pleasure as if it's all about pleasure. But then, if they need to work hard for something, they might just give up, and instead of working hard for it, they would rather live in poverty and in poverty, yes.
Это покорность судьбе и безбашенность перед обстоятельствами.
These people are, mystical. They try to follow. They say they follow the destiny. So they are ready to submit to destiny and submit to or circumstances that they are supposed to change.
Это чинопочитание и одновременно высокомерие по отношению к нижестоящим.
They, on one hand, do pretend as if they obey and follow leadership, but at the same time, they're actually wicked and aggressive towards them.
Это комплекс неполноценности и убежденность в своем превосходстве одновременно.
These people they look as if they are so self-confident, but it's behind that self-confidence is pride and inferiority complex at the same time.
Вот такому народу служил пастор Сандей.
So these are the qualities of people that Pastor Sunday has been living with for 30 years and is tried hard to change all those virtues and all those qualities of this nation's character.
Народу, который сам себя не понимает и сам с собой не может справиться от противоречий внутренних.
So it's a people that is so full of complexes and contradictions that even we themselves, they cannot live in peace.
Вот это ценно для меня.
But Pastor Sunday gave his life, 30 years of his life, to change this nation and give them a new value system.
Потому что было много поводов, чтобы оставить это все и перейти к западному миру, где все понятно, прагматично. Оценивайте правильно. Спасибо вам большое.
For Pastor Sunday is so especially commendable because he could have left this place and he could have gone to any other nation in the world where he wants to, where things could be easier for him. But Pastor Sunday stuck out his neck and gave his all to just make sure that we become a new people. Thank you so much.
Спасибо вам, пастор.
Thank you, Pastor.
Дякуємо вам, пастор Ірина, за таку глибоку, що сьогодні...
Як научний сотрудник.
Таку глибину я сама багато для себе чого взяла і записувала.
Thank you so much, Pastor Elena. You are so
Welcome.
deep. You are so deep. You've given us such a deep answers and research as if you are a scientist.
Да, вам, дорогі глядачі, теж дякуємо за те,
So
що
thank you
ви
so much all our
були сьогодні
viewers
з нами.
for coming to be with us today.
Ми надіємося, що ви для себе почерпнули дуже багато
I hope you got some
мудрості
things from the wisdom of Pastor Elena today.
і дізналися ще більше про пастора Сандея.
And I hope you did get to know some things about Pastor Sunday today.
І також ще раз переконалися практично, що це, що він вчить, ця неземна мудрість, вона дійсно є діючою в житті кожної людини.
And I just want you to know that, yes, all these things that Pastor Sunday has been teaching us, they are wisdom that come from above, and they will work for anybody.
Тому не упустіть свій шанс.
So don't miss your chance. Go ahead and listen to as much as possible of Pastor Sunday's teaching and let them change and transform you as well.
А завтра ми з вами зустрінемося ще одним цікавим свідченням.
Tomorrow I'm coming back with another testimony from people whose lives have been changed.
А сьогодні ви вже через 50 хвилин зустрінетеся з пастором і зможете задати йому свої
But
питання.
Pastor will be back with you in the next 50 minutes. Pastor Sunday will be back with questions and answers. So get your questions ready. Pastor Sunday will be here with Mayowa to answer all your questions.
Тому see you tomorrow.
So see you tomorrow.
Bye.
See you.
Bye. See you.
See you.
Okay, guys. Oh, what a program we had today. I'm so, so impressed that this my pastor is able to know so much about me. And thank God. So anyway, thank you so much, everybody. I will be back in the next 50 minutes. Yes, in the next 50 minutes with all your questions. We had a lot of questions from yesterday, day before yesterday. And Mayowa is there waiting for me to come and answer all your questions. And I will be here in the next 50 minutes. So you come back as well. God bless you. See you in the next 50 minutes. And of course, with the Russians tomorrow. God bless. Bye.